Hey hula hoopers, Grace Raven here, and in this video we are going to talk about how to fix the 5 biggest hooping mistakes. And they actually have nothing to do with tricks at all. Mistake number 1 is fundamental to really any sport, and that is breathing. For those of you who saw the movie $1 Million Baby, the biggest complaint that the trainer had of the main character was that she was not breathing when she was boxing. And that actually is a huge problem for hula hoopers. It was a big problem for me. The reason we don't breathe is because we're concentrating so hard on what we're doing that we hold our breath. It is actually a very natural thing to do. When we're afraid, we're in the dark, we think there's something spooky in the woods, we hold our breath because we're trying not to make noise, we're trying to concentrate on what's going on. Breathing is a huge part in sport, whether you're doing tennis, wrestling, hula hooping, swimming. Breathing is absolutely key. So that is number 1. When you are hula hooping, please check your breathing. Not only will it make you more loose and stronger, it'll also prevent leg cramping, arm cramping, because when our cells don't get enough oxygen, we get cramps, and we don't get enough oxygen when we don't breathe. The other really great thing about breathing is that it prevents you from fainting and getting dizzy, which, you know, if you're really trying too hard and you're not breathing enough, you can really hurt yourself. So number 1, best thing to do with your hula hooping is breathing. Controlled breathing is the best way to breathe. Not shallow breaths, but more deep breaths, more controlled breaths. So remember to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And to remember to take breaks, because our bodies only can go so far. So when you're starting out hula hooping, it's really important to take breaks, or at the very least, move into a trick that isn't as difficult for you to do so that you can regain your breath in order to do the harder tricks later. The second biggest mistake that hula hoopers make is trying too hard. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, it's kind of hand in hand with not breathing. When we're trying really hard and we're focusing and we're really in the moment and we're really pushing ourselves to do something hard that's new to us, we naturally don't breathe. We also naturally tense up our muscles. And what that does is it doesn't allow us to flow naturally into a trick. It makes our grip harder, and we'll get to that in a minute. It's really important to not try too hard. I have an uncle who, when I was playing tennis with him, he told me I was trying too hard. And I said, well, I'm trying to beat you, so yeah, I'm trying hard. And he said that his coach back in the day told him to only give 80%. Now, in a society like ours, we're told all the time, you gotta give 100%, you gotta give 110%. Well, with hooping or with any sport, it's actually better to only give 80%, because what your brain will do is it will trick your body into loosening up. And when you are loose, you actually perform better. And you don't get so hard on yourself when you can't learn a new trick. It's okay. You can drop your hoop, go get a snack, take a nap, come back. And it will actually loosen you up, and you will actually get the trick a whole lot easier if you just learn to let go and not try so hard while breathing. Alright, so we talked about breathing and we talked about not trying so hard. Those two things go hand in hand with number 3, grip. Grip is so fundamental to the flow of your hula hooping. And when I say grip, I actually mean you should have a lighter grip. The worst thing that you can do as a hula hooper is have an ironclad grip. A lot of people think when they're starting out hula hooping, or when they're learning a more advanced trick, that grip is a way to control the hoop and make the hoop do what you want it to do. But in more cases than not, it's actually the opposite that is true. If you have a very light grip, your hoop will actually do things that you want it to do. A lot of people have problems getting the hoop off their waist and into the vortex or into the lasso because they grab too hard. And what happens is your elbow goes up, you have tension in this arm, and the hoop falls. You can't get the hoop up and above your head because the hoop has fallen. Instead, you actually want to have a really, really loose grip. And when I say loose, I mean it almost looks like this. Okay? You'll notice that my thumb is touching my middle fingers, and I'm allowing the hoop to go up, but I haven't killed its momentum. It's going to keep going with my arm. So make sure you check your grip in every new trick you're doing. Even when you reach advanced tricks, question your grip, because a lot of times when you're doing a hard trick, it's so difficult that you're trying really, really hard and you're not breathing, and that makes your grip harder. So you want to make sure that you're loosening up, you're only giving 80%, you're breathing, and that will help you to loosen your grip up. Alright, hoopers, well, we talked about the importance of breathing, of not trying so hard, of having a loose grip. And the number 4 biggest mistake that hoopers make is not hoop dancing to music that is different from what they usually dance to. So, not trying out different tempos or different beats of music is really a big hindrance to your growth as a hula hooper. If you're into dubstep and that's all you dance to, try dancing to Irish jigs. If you are big into dancing to, Fish or other kind of jam band, try dancing to some techno. It really makes a big, big difference in your hula hooping because it pushes you to either go faster or slower. And it also makes you think about the way that you're counting. Pop will have, a nice steady dance beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that might be all you know how to hoop to until you start dancing to an Irish jig, which is technically in 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's different. So that is number 4. Dance to music that you are not used to dancing to. Alright, hoopers, well, we talked about the importance of breathing. We talked about not trying so hard when we're learning new tricks. We talked about the importance of having a loose grip. And we also talked about trying to hoop to different music than what we're normally used to dancing to. The number 5 biggest mistake, in my opinion, that hoopers make is not taking risks. When we become intermediate hula hoopers, especially, and I did this myself, I plateaued. And I plateaued for about 3 months where I just wasn't learning anything. And a lot of hoopers do this. We don't take risks because we're afraid of failure. And if there's one thing that hooping has taught me, it's taught me that I shouldn't be afraid of failure, and it's also taught me a lot of humility. It's taught me as a dancer that I don't have to compare myself to the next dancer in the room. There is just, in my opinion, there's just so much competition in our society. All of the competition-based art shows, Project Runway, American Idol, The Voice, America's Got Talent, it's always people who are trying to be better than the other person. And in my opinion, that really tears down what art is all about. And in my opinion, art, whether it be hula hooping or painting or music, should be about community and friendship and helping each other. And trying to get better, not for the sake of being better than the other person, but trying to be better for the sake of bettering ourselves as human beings, being more empathetic, being, healthier, being happier. That's where I feel that people don't take risks in their dance and in their hula hooping because they're afraid of failure and because they feel like they're not going to be better than the next person. So even though that's not necessarily trick-based, it's more philosophical, when I learned that I could be a better hula hooper on my own terms and not to beat the next person or be better than this other person, but simply for my own, well-being and my own happiness and my own fun and my own sense of adventure, I was able to let go of my fear of failure, and I was able to take risks a lot easier. And whenever I made a mistake, and I made hundreds of mistakes, thousands of mistakes, especially with certain tricks, I just couldn't get them for weeks. And I realized I shouldn't beat myself up over this. I should just keep trying and remember the 4 core things that I need to remember, which is grip, breathing, only giving 80%, not trying so hard, and loosening up with some maybe slower music or more fun music, just something that breaks the cycle of fear. So I want to thank you for watching my video, the 5 biggest hooping mistakes and how to fix them. I hope it helps you in your hooping journey. Feel free to email me, leave me a comment on YouTube, and please check out my website. So again, I want to thank you so much for watching, and I wish you a beautiful hooping journey.